Good evening and welcome to the study session of the City Council of the City of Moreno Valley. Thank you to all the residents who are joining us in person and at home as well. I now call this meeting to order on April 8th at 6:03 p.m. We will go ahead and move into the Pledge of Allegiance. If anyone would like to volunteer, looking to my colleagues here to lead us in the pledge for this evening. Sure. Councilmember Delgado will lead us in the pledge today, and we'll go ahead and get started.
Please stand and join me by placing your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much, Councilmember. And we don't have an invocation for this evening. Next, item C. Madam Clerk, I'll turn it over to you for a roll call.
Thank you, Mayor. Councilmember Bernard.
Here.
Councilmember Gonzalez.
Here.
Councilmember Delgado.
Here, ma'am.
Mayor Pro Tem Santa Cruz.
Here.
And Mayor Cabrera.
Present.
Thank you.
Next, staff introductions, please.
Patty Rodriguez, City Clerk.
Paul Bradvika, Deputy City Clerk.
Sonia Gomez, Management Assistant.
Stephen Quintanilla, City Attorney.
Brian Mohan, City Manager.
Lana Jimenez, Assistant City Manager over Administration.
Dina Hill, Chief Financial Officer, City Treasurer.
Sean Kelleher, Assistant City Manager Development.
Angelica Fraustilipo, Community Development Director.
Melissa Walker, Director of Public Works.
Jeremy Bubnick, Director of Parks and Community Services.
Robert Cardenas, Human Resources Director.
Keith Gemmel, Acting Economic Development and Housing Director.
Sarah Mack, Chief of Police.
And Jesse Park, Fire Chief.
Thank you very much, team. It's always a pleasure to be in the chamber to conduct the people's business. And that brings us to item E, which is public comments on matters on the agenda only. Again, a friendly reminder that this is public comment only on agenda items that are on our agenda this evening. And a friendly reminder also that the city now offers language translation services through a free app called Wordly. If anyone would like to use that software, that program, we have a QR code that you could scan over by the table near the entrance doors of the chamber. And if anyone would like to borrow earphones or earbuds to listen to the verbal translation, please let our staff know, and we'll be more than happy to let you borrow some earphones or earbuds. Finally, in order to preserve the meeting decorum, council and staff will not respond during public comments. Next is item F, which is our business item, and we have one item, which is F1, and we'll be doing a review of various departments, an overview of various departments. So with that, we'll go ahead and turn it over to our city manager, Mr. Brian Mohan, to introduce the departments that we'll be reviewing today.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. If you recall, we started this venture on the department overviews in March. Unfortunately, myself and both ACMs weren't here.
Sorry, Mr. City Manager, if we could pause there. It was my fault. I forgot to ask if we had any public comments, any requests to speak. But that's my fault. My apologies. Just wanted to make sure we do that before we proceed. Do we have any requests to speak?
We do not, Mayor.
Okay. Go right ahead, Mr. City Manager. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Mayor. If you recall, myself and the ACMs were not here last study session, and so I didn't get to partake in the departments that were presenting. I did watch the video, and my slides will not be as jovial or funny as the Parks and Community Services Director. So mine is going to be very dry and very high level. Obviously, there are a lot of words on this particular slide, and just want to provide some overview. So the city was incorporated as a general law city December 3rd, 1984, merging three cities, which were Moreno, Sunnymead, and Edgemont, into Moreno Valley. It is organized under the statutes of the state of California and governed by the California Constitution. We are more than 51.3 square miles, as we just had an annexation, so I believe we're more of 51.6 square miles now, and our current population is 2,008 based on the 2020 census. As far as council goes, there are 4 council members, each elected by and from a geographical district, and a directly elected mayor selected at large. These 5 elected officials set policy and enact municipal laws. The city council duties include adopting ordinances, approving the budget, appointing committees, and appointing the city manager, city attorney, and the city clerk. In addition to those general city activities, the council serves as the governing body of the Moreno Valley Community Services District, Moreno Valley Housing Authority, Moreno Valley Community Foundation, Moreno Valley Public Financing Authority, and the Board of Library Trustees. Additionally, the city acts as successor agency for the former Community Redevelopment City or Agency. The city manager is responsible for carrying out the policies and ordinance of the council, for overseeing the day-to-day operations of the city, and for appointing the heads of operating departments, basically everybody in the well. The general law city, all California cities are municipal corporations. Their formation is provided for their formation in the California State Constitution. And they fall into one of 3 categories. General law city, which is about 4 out of 5 cities in California are general law cities. Charter cities, and then there's actually 1 consolidated city and county, which is San Francisco. General law cities derive their powers from and organize their governments according to the state code, which enumerates their powers and specifies the structure of our city. General law cities may exercise their choices in their form of government, municipal government, and have broad powers over local affairs. This slide's probably even smaller and you won't be able to read it. Again, this just goes into a little bit more about the council manager form of government, and specifically how your roles and my role are portrayed. The structure recognizes that council establish policy and priorities, and it appoints a city manager to implement those policies and priorities through the day-to-day operations of the city. This particular model has been around for many, many decades. It's actually matured that city management is now considered a profession, with many of us in the well that have earned academic degrees in public administration and devoted our careers to local government service. I also serve as the chief executive officer for the city. The city council must avoid situations that can result in city staff being directed intentionally or unintentionally by 1 or more members of the city council. So therefore, that's why everything is communicated to or through me to everyone here in the well. More importantly, what the city manager's office and everyone in the well tries to do is really keep an open communication, line of communication with council and city management. Additionally, with the structure that we have here for the form of government and the state constitution and state code, governmental codes, I have a responsibility for ethical standards, and those requirements are through ICMA, which is International City County Management Association, which is 12 tenets or principles and 34 guidelines that I must follow. And also GFOA, which is Government Finance Officers Association, which is 8 tenets or 8 principles that I have to follow, and the fiduciary responsibility that I have to the residents as well. The next slide is an org chart for the entire city. And I'll explain this because it's a little hard to see. So you have the citizens at the very top of our org chart. And then you have the various city council and other agencies that I had read off that you are also the body of. And then the next line down is the city manager, city attorney, city clerk, commissions, boards, and committees that are listed there. And then under the city manager or the two assistant city managers and all of the other departments, financial and management services, human resources, parks and community services, fire, police, economic development, community development, and public works. Although this chart is very overwhelming, we do have only 402 career part-time and full-time staff, and the city is actually $1.3 billion in net position, and so our municipal corporation is over $1 billion now. Specifically related to the city manager's office overview, a lot of this is redundant, so I won't reread it, but we have 5 divisions within the city manager's office, which is compliance, grants, media and communications, programs, and public safety contract administration. And I just want to read a mission statement that we have had for a long time and that we adhere to. The city manager's office is committed to providing and coordinating excellent staff support and sound policy recommendations to the city council, leading the organization in an effective, efficient, and principled manner, and providing organizational support and direction to the departments. This particular org chart is just the city manager's office, and it shows the breakdown of the 2 assistant city managers and what they're responsible for. So you see the one over development, you have economic development, Moreno Valley Utility, Public Works, Community Development, and the one over administration not only oversees the 5 divisions within the city manager office, but very similar to the development counterpart, also oversees FMS, HR, and Parks and Community Services. As far as an actual definition or defining what the operations are for each of the 5 divisions within the city manager's office, compliance, obviously that is the responsibility of maintaining the internal controls in internal audit by planning, organizing, directing, and conducting reviews of citywide policies and procedures and all the assessments to ensure that we are in compliance with a multitude of regulatory frameworks and various federal and state audits that we also have to be conducting in order to ensure that our grant funding and so forth is in line and in compliance. Speaking of grants, grant division for full-time employees that through your approval and your investment in that particular division this last budget cycle, we were able to go ahead and formally create a grants division. And subsequently, we have received tens of millions of dollars in grants because of that division. We also have media and communications under city manager's office, and they conduct and serve as our media relations public information office, also provide the graphic designs for special events and everything that is on MV3 and our TV channel, as well as all of the various streaming that occurs on our YouTube channels and social media platform. The last 2 items are programs and public contracts administration. So programs that we have are various programs that are run by our deputy city manager. And she also serves as the legislative analyst for the city as well to ensure that we are in compliance with the legislative platform that is approved by council. The public contracts administration, obviously with our contract of law enforcement and fire prevention with the county and CAL FIRE. That oversight and management of both of those public safety contracts is through my office. Some major reporting that we do in the city manager's office is our annual city manager's report, which can be found at that particular website, which is moval.gov, departments, city manager. On that particular landing page or HTML page, you also have the legislative advocacy platform. Then one thing that I do want to mention is customer care standards. So based on council approval of our customer care standards years ago, you valued customer service and was a high priority of council at the time. And so what we do is that customer care standard is shared with all of our new employees. It is also discussed in our meet and greets, and we also have expanded it to include collaboration, innovation, and also customer service awards, so that it is always on a quarterly basis being talked about by our staff and our team members. With that, that completes my departmental overview. You guys are probably happy because that was pretty dry. And with that, though, I am available for any questions that you may have.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mohan. I appreciate that. And yeah, not as fun as the Parks and Community Services presentation, but still a lot of very good information there. And so we'll bring it up to the dais in case there's any questions, any comments. Just two quick ones from me, Brian. Great job, obviously, well done. The city is in a good place, and I really do feel that way, that the city fiscally, financially, in terms of economic development, our programming, everything, right? Rooftops getting built. I won't go too far into that because I know I don't want to steal thunder from other departments, but two particular things. The grants division that you brought up, really, really happy that we put that in place. It's been maybe 2 years, if not more or less, since we officially created a grants division, and I'm really happy to see that we're getting a return on that investment from additional grants being awarded to the city, which in turn helps us to create new programs or build new things in the city. So really, really good job there to the grants division and the entire team. And then also just wanted to highlight again, you mentioned the number of employees that we have. It's about 400, maybe a little more than that, but want to reiterate the point that while we run a tight ship here in Moreno Valley, it's an efficient ship, and the ratio of city employees to residents is a lot lower compared to neighboring cities. Like, I won't name any cities, but we have less employees relative to the number of residents, and you guys are doing an amazing job. So just wanted to highlight those two things, and again, give kudos to everybody. So I'll look to my colleagues to see if there's any other questions, any other comments. Not at the moment, so we can go ahead and move on to the next department.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. F1, item 2 is community development, and that particular presentation will be from the Community Development Director, Angelica.
Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. This was the Community Development Department handbook, and I'll start with the preface that community development is a quality of life department whose daily activities are focused on actively improving and protecting residents, property owners, businesses, and organizations, and the built environment by seeking compliance with various state and local codes. Table of contents, and the mission statement is the Community Development Department is to facilitate development and promote a secure community with the implementation of planning, land use, building safety, beautification, animal service, and community enhancement policies within the city in order to provide a quality, well-planned, safe, and desirable living and working environment for its citizens now and into the future. So a little bit about community development. As mentioned, the department provides a variety of development, business, and property owner services directly related to improving the quality of life in Moreno Valley. The department consists of 5 divisions: administration, animal services, building and safety, planning, and community enhancement and neighborhood services, all led by a division manager. Additionally, Community Development serves as staff to the Planning Commission and the Environmental and Historical Preservation Commission. The department consists of 70 full-time staff and has a budget of $16 million. The Administration Division is led by me, the director, and I provide guidance and oversight to each of the divisions to enhance the quality of life in the community. Admin is responsible for overseeing the daily operations of the department, as well as managing the daily administrative activities, budget and contract management, monitoring and evaluating the efficiency of service delivery, and overseeing staffing levels and personnel matters. Additionally, the division conducts a high-level analysis of federal, state, and regional legislative actions concerning community development issues. The admin team consists of the director, one senior management analyst, and one executive assistant. On to the fun stuff. Animal services. The division is responsible for protecting the health, safety, and welfare of the city's animals and residents through a wide range of services and programs. Animal Services is responsible for the full service operation of the animal shelter, which includes contracted veterinary services. Animal Services is led by Division Manager Ashley Renz with a budget of $3.55 million and 24 full-time staff. The division has a good track record of seeking grant funding, and last year we received about $200,000 in grants. The division includes a supervisor for each of the 3 divisions, which include Animal Services and Customer Service, Animal Care within the shelter, and Field Services. One of the primary functions of the division is to provide rabies control, which involves the investigation of animal bites, control of stray animals, and licensing of pets. Animal Services also provides humane education and enforcement of public safety, animal cruelty, and nuisance ordinances. The full-service veterinary clinic provides the necessary medical care for the community's pets and performs services such as low-cost spay and neuter surgeries, daily shelter rounds and vet checks, diagnosis and treatment of injured and ill domestic animals placed in the care of the shelter, while working cooperatively with city staff to provide positive outcomes for the community's lost and homeless pets. Animal Services strives to create as many positive outcomes for all animals and pets in the city. Positive outcomes include pet and family adoptions, pets rescued, pets reclaimed by their owners, trap-neuter release program, and pets transferred to pet adoption centers. The Field Services includes 6 full-time animal control officers, 1 full-time dispatcher, and 1 animal services license inspector. Animal control officers rotate night truck assignment in response to high-priority calls after hours. And during normal business hours, animal control officers respond to routine and high-priority requests. Following are some of the programs and services offered: adoption events, dog licensing, microchips, low-cost rabies vaccination clinics, and trap-neuter release program. Just some quick facts about Animal Services. The number of pets with positive outcomes was 2,265, and these are numbers for last year from January to September. The number of customer contacts was over 23,000. The number of field responses was 8,300. The number of pet registrations was 9,600. And currently, the number of kennels is 85. We have 5 quarantine kennels and 8 isolation kennels for medical emergencies. And the number of average dogs in the shelter is 125. Moving on to building and safety. The division ensures residential and commercial construction projects are in compliance with state and local building codes by conducting plan review, issuing building permits, and conducting inspections. Specifically, building and safety is responsible for reviewing building plans and issuing permits based on state building codes encompassing building, electrical, mechanical, plumbing, energy requirements, and accessibility laws. The division, which is led by Division Manager James Verdugo, building official, and certified access specialist, includes 12 full-time staff and a budget of $3.99 million. The division provides streamlined quality plan review and coordinates the permitting process to ensure that construction projects proceed according to safe building practices. Inspections are conducted during the course of construction to ensure compliance with approved plans and to protect life and property investment. Building and safety, along with various other city departments and divisions, help manage the city's award-winning electronic application and plan submittal portal. I think most of you are familiar with Simplicity. As you may be aware, a few years ago, the city developed a comprehensive program to encourage residents and housing developers to build accessory dwelling units, or ADUs as we refer to them. And the purpose of the ADU for You program was simple. It was to do our part to help alleviate California's housing crisis by promoting housing production and reducing construction costs. The ADU for You program includes a comprehensive step-by-step guide to help residents get through the city's permitting process, and that guide is electronic online on our website. And then recently, the building ADUs in the city got a little bit easier. So in an effort to help property owners interested in building ADUs, the city now offers 7 pre-approved building plans to help property owners basically save time and money. The plans vary in architectural design from Craftsman, Spanish, and Ranch, and the plans are offered free to residents. There may be other costs associated through the building process, but the plans were already available for residents to access. And as previously mentioned, our building official is a certified accessibility specialist, and therefore ADA inquiries are referred to him. Moving on to the Planning Division. The Planning Division implements programs to fulfill the city's strategic priorities with respect to development, aligned with Moreno Valley's General Plan, Municipal Code, and the California Environmental Quality Act. Planning reviews development applications for conformance with ordinances and land use development standards, design standards, and of course, as mentioned, the California Environmental Quality Act. We're currently recruiting for a division manager, and the department has 12 full-time staff with a budget of $3.14 million. Generally speaking, planning can be broken down into 2 areas: advanced planning, which oversees long-range plans related to land use, and current planning, which oversees entitlements such as conditional use permits, sign and banner permits, temporary use permits, tentative tract maps, parcel maps, plot plans, and home occupation permits. The last division in the department is the Community Enhancement and Neighborhood Services, led by Division Manager Robert Alvarez. The division responds to citizen complaints and proactively enforces the city's municipal code and regulations in order to enhance and protect the quality of life for residents. The division, which includes community enhancement, otherwise known as code enforcement, includes parking control, park rangers, and business license, and has 25 full-time staff and a budget of $4.16 million. The staff strives to ensure the highest level of voluntary resolution by educating residents and property owners and working in partnership with the community. Community Enhancement and Neighborhood Services manages a variety of programs throughout the year, such as the Commercial Corridor Beautification Program, the Catalytic Converter Credibility Check Program, and the Foreclosure Registration Program. Finally, the division also oversees the Business License Division, and per the city's municipal code, all businesses operating in the city are required to have a business license. This includes businesses which operate from home, commercial location, or sublease within an existing business. And I had just some other key stats here. There were over 11,000 customer contacts, 4,500 cases closed last year, 2,700 admin citations, 32,000 parking citations, and I mentioned the budget and the staff already. This is very difficult to see, but as I mentioned, the department includes about 70 full-time staff. And so you'll see the director is at the top, and there are the 4 divisions underneath, which I've already gone through, so I'm not gonna go into any more detail. And then contact information at the back of the brochure. That concludes my presentation. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much, Director. We'll bring it back to the dais for any questions or comments. Councilmember Delgado.
Great job, Angelica. I don't have any questions, but I do have a comment. I sit on the Riverside County Animal Services Ad Hoc Committee, and I just want to let you know, and I've already told Ashley that you guys in Animal Services are doing a great job. They oftentimes ask us in Moreno Valley what we're doing and how we're doing it so well. So kudos to her and her team. I know Steve started a lot of that, and she's just taken it over. So in addition to that, she has an outstanding relationship with the president of Donkeyland, and they're working hand in hand in conjunction with each other from a city's perspective and Donkeyland. So it's a great relationship, and they're doing a great job over there. So just want to let you know publicly.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mayor Pro Tem Baca Santa Cruz.
Hi. Same. Just kudos mostly for the animal shelter, for all the work Steve and Ashley are doing. I know that they go after a lot of grants, so there's a lot of grant funding to do a lot of the services that are done at the animal shelter. So we really appreciate that. A lot of times we get emails from social media posts with concerns about animals being euthanized. I call over there, and they've already reached out. They're already in contact with rescues. So, we get up in arms. Oh my God, they're gonna kill the and we get there, and it's already resolved. So it's so nice that they are so actively seeking positive outcomes. To hear that there's 2,265 positive outcomes is something that we should be shouting from the rooftop. So here's my shout out to you. Kudos. Thank you so much for everything you do for the animals. You did mention that there was an after hours van or truck. That is a question that I do get from residents. Can you share how would a resident, because what we hear is they call the animal shelter, the first message says they're open during these hours or they're closed at the moment, and I think they hang up. Is there another phone call, another number? Where do the calls for after hour services get dispatched from? How would the resident get that done?
That is a good question. I just have the one number here, 413-3790. So calls are dispatched by order priority, and I don't have a specific overnight phone number, but I'd be happy to provide that information.
Maybe we can get that kind of information out in a media post, because that is something that I do see on social media. And there's something in the road, or there's a loose and it's late in the night, and someone will comment, I called the shelter, they're closed.
Yeah.
So since you don't have that information now, maybe we can get that out soon to the public.
Yeah, thank you, MPT. Definitely thank you for that suggestion. We will do that, as well as we'll take a look at the after-hour message and see if we can restructure that to include the after-hour number or the after-hour instruction, as opposed to just saying we're closed. We'll take a look at that as well.
Perfect. And then my other comment was on community enhancement. Thank you so much for all the work that's being done on Sunnymead Boulevard. That's that's our face right there when our big exit, in our, the heart of the city. So I've noticed a lot of the landscape improvements, the debris, the constant, twice a week monitoring of those areas. So I really appreciate it. I think it really enhances our businesses, and it's like a domino effect. When you see the neighbor fixing it up, then you want to fix it up because you're the only one that's looking bad. So I really appreciate all the work. I know it takes a lot to keep going out there and, even offering the suggestions of drought-resistant landscaping and giving the advice that it really helps and it shows. So thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. To piggyback on that, you guys are so prompt about responding to these, whether it's a CRM that we open through the council office or it's a inquiry that comes in directly from a constituent, right? They call in or they email in to the department. You're so prompt to get out there. And for example, just yesterday, someone messaged me through social media a picture of a homeless camp that was building up on Sunnymead, reported that to staff. Just today got an update that it's been cleaned up and addressed. So just love how prompt you all are, how quick you are to respond, and you have that down pat. And I know we do get questions here and there also about the freeways and the on and off ramps, or even the underpasses, right? And I just want to mention again that for those particular areas, most of the time it's outside of the city's jurisdiction, and we have to go through Caltrans, which is a state agency that is responsible for those freeway areas. So we do our best, I know you all do your best, to send those reports and request that Caltrans addresses those encampments. And we've gotten better and better over time of sending that information to them and building that relationship with Caltrans, so that we are that squeaky wheel that gets the grease or the oil, whatever you want to call it. So the only other thing wanted to highlight again, you went over the ADU for You program, which is great. We all know we're in a housing crisis here, especially in California, and I was doing some research a couple weeks ago. I believe most recent, so last year, of all the residential units that were built in the state of California, almost 20% were ADUs. So the legislation that the state has been passing over the past couple of years to make it easier to build ADUs is working, right? It's actually introducing more supply into the market. And so just wanted to highlight that because as we know, housing affordability is an issue. As young folks are getting older, they're staying at home more with parents and siblings, or as folks are getting up into retirement age, you need somewhere, maybe you need to come home closer to, children, and you need space in your home. These ADUs are a really good option for those who can afford it. We're making it easier on them. So thank you all so much for making it as simple as possible to get these projects submitted to the city and streamlining our processes wherever we can. So hats off to you all there. And before we go to the next department, looking to my colleagues again to see if there's any other comments, any other questions. All right, seeing none, thank you once again, Director. And we'll move to Economic Development and Housing.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. Keith will be doing the Economic Development Department.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much. As I start my presentation today, I want to go ahead and provide a definition that is our guiding star, so to speak, of how we do economic development. And we define economic development as the creation of wealth from which community benefits are realized. It's more than a jobs program. It's an investment in growing our economy and enhancing the prosperity and quality of life for all residents. And as you've seen tonight, we have a lot of great departments here that enhance that quality of life. But I'd love to show you how we do that here at the Economic Development and Housing Department. So going through the slides here. This is our executive overview. We really have focus in that area, and I thought I could read the slides a little bit better, so let me pull out my notes. We have 5 key areas that we focus on, and that's really business attraction as well as a concierge service. That's our front of the house side of the shop. We also provide support for affordable housing, and then we also do business development and workforce development programs. As I show here, the greater definitions for that. All of our programs are guided by our 2022 housing element, as well as the Economic Development Strategic Plan that was just approved last year in 2024. Both are plans approved by City Council. And with that here, our department is made up of just 9 full-time staff members. We also have several part-time interns that help support us at City Hall, as well as our Business and Employment Resource Center. And as I mentioned, our Business Attraction and Expansion Program is really that front side of the ship. That is what we go out aggressively to try to bring in new exciting businesses that fall within our target industries. So we're working with a lot of different real estate developers, as well as going out and making contacts directly with the business managers to help bring them here. We do that through a couple of different ways. That's through very strategic marketing programs, through print and digital ads. We also have a dedicated website, which has been an award-winning multiple years. That is our found at morenavalleybusiness.com. And on that site, you can find a lot of different incentives as well as our strategies, not only for our business attraction, but also for our business and workforce development programs. We also have on that site a lot of different maps and demographics that businesses can find, and potential developers as well, to look at that and see where we can enhance that as well. And as I mentioned, we're very strategic and aggressive. We go out and attend a lot of different regional as well as national events to help meet with these developers and businesses, and to tell them about all the amazing things we have going on here in Moreno Valley and why they should come and be a part of our business community. Looking at that, site selection assistance is a key part of that. So once we do get somebody interested, we work with them through our concierge service to help them find the appropriate properties. So whether they're looking for an existing building or land to develop upon, we will work with them in helping grow that. We also help them as they go through that process. We work in tandem with our community development department to help make sure that we are that squeak that gets the grease, so to speak, as the mayor said. We want to help them move through everything. And sometimes they run into roadblocks, and sometimes that's beyond our control within the city. They may be dealing with an outside agency such as, water or power. And so that's when we will reach out to them and help be that liaison and advocate for them. We also do a lot of great things to attract them through financial and physical incentives. Those programs fall mainly under our award-winning program called Hire MoVal, which is a giant umbrella that offers both financial incentives as well as workforce support programs. And just to highlight a few of those, we do work in tandem with Moreno Valley Utility to offer some rate discounts if they're employing a certain percentage of residents at their business. We also offer incentives if they hire residents who've recently graduated from any type of certification or degree, as long as it comes from an accredited school. And then also if they're a veteran who's a resident here. Each of the businesses, when they hire one of those categories, get $1,000 to use for their business, whether that's to reinvest or also to provide community engagement. That's up to them. What I love about the Hire a Vet program is we also give the veteran themselves an additional $500 to support their quality of life here in Moreno Valley. We also provide business license fee waivers as well if they have a certain percentage of employees that are Moreno Valley residents. And we also provide access and information to the foreign trade zone, which is really great for our logistics partners here in town, because they're able to actually save millions of dollars through their import process if they set up an FTZ at their location. We also provide them a whole host of data to help them understand, know the demographics, know who they're working for, and who their customers might be. And again, as I mentioned, we have a dedicated staff member, our Economic Development Division Manager. She is our development ombudsman, and she really is that person who's strategically working to move our development process along and help be that advocate for them when they need that going forward. Another key component of our department is housing. We have one dedicated senior management analyst who supports all of our affordable housing projects, and she really focuses on compliance as well as helping bring in and foster that process for new developments that come into town. One of our most public-facing programs, you're all probably familiar with it, is our award-winning Moreno Valley Business and Employment Resource Center. And this is really a nexus for the backside of the shop, which is our business and workforce development program. Last year, the Burke was able to serve nearly 27,000 customers through our in-person services, as well as our hybrid and remote learning, as well as our external events, including our 3 regional job fairs that we host here at the CRC, as well as a Veterans Wellness and Resource Fair. That program there at the Burke is not only just for job seekers, but also for veterans. We also provide a lot of different services for businesses as well, hence the name Business and Employment Resource Center. And we can't do this alone. We have, only 2 dedicated full-time staff members over there and a few part-time staff, but we also have a host of various partners from the Riverside County Housing Workforce Solutions Department, as well as the Workforce Development Board, Moreno Valley College, Cal Baptist University, as well as the California Employment Development Department, US Vets, and a whole host of other partners that come and go there. Another one don't want to forget to name would be Small Business Development Center, who has a on-site consultant, which I'll talk a little bit more about that. So let me jump into our business and retention, business and retention and development program. We do have a dedicated analyst who, that is her primary role, to focus on developing those programs, managing them, and supporting our businesses. She primarily focuses on our small business programs. And as you can see over here on this chart, it's a little hard to read, but we have 6 key areas that help us to focus our strategies on business development. And those are technical assistance, our Hire Moval umbrella that I mentioned a little bit about already, recruitment assistance programs, as well as business retention. Entrepreneurship is a key focus for us, as well as a whole host of different resources. As I mentioned, one of our key partners is the SBDC, or Small Business Development Center, which offers on-site consulting for those who are any type of cycle of the life cycle of a business, whether they're a budding entrepreneur, they've just started, or they've been a family business for years. We can help them through various business plans, marketing plans, rebranding, and that's all offered directly at the Burke in person every week on Wednesdays, or they can also have a virtual appointment any other day of the week. We also, on Wednesdays, host our Small Business Wednesdays workshop series, which is an award-winning workshop series that every Wednesday we have workshops dedicated to help businesses, whether that's with HR compliance, marketing, financing, accounting, all those different topics are covered throughout the 52 weeks of the year. We also host, in tandem with our Office of Emergency Management, a business emergency resiliency training program that helps businesses and their employees be prepared for when disasters might strike. This could be planning for, those big 100-year events, or just learning how to use a fire extinguisher properly to put out a fire. We also provide free space for our businesses to come and use the Burke, whether that's for recruitment assistant, which I'll talk about in just a moment, or if they want to come by and have a business meeting, or if they want to come by and do business training for their employees. For example, some of our major logistics centers here, while they have large centers and big office spaces at their distribution centers, they sometimes want to bring their newly hired supervisors to come off-site and use the Burke for training. So that way they're undistracted and able to focus on that training for a full day or two. Our business recruitment assistance program is probably one of our most popular services. This is where we're able to help promote our Moreno Valley businesses in finding the right workers. One of our major goals is to promote high-quality jobs here locally. We know we have a lot of residents that commute out of the area, and our goal through the Burke and through our business retention programs is to help them find quality jobs here in town so they don't have to spend so much of their time on the freeways and on the roads. So we do this in a couple different ways. One, we have an online job board, which is updated every other week physically by our staff, checking in with the employers. We're not relying on the employers to statically update that and, oops, I forgot, and it's now been 6 months since I removed that job posting. This job board always has 100 different businesses within Moreno Valley that are currently hiring both part-time and full-time jobs, and they're updated at least every other week by our staff directly. We also send out job alerts through our eBlast system or Constant Contact, and we currently have over 35,000 email contacts within that database to promote our jobs to not only job seekers, but also other employment resource partners like the Burke to help promote and share the word of these jobs. And then we host a number of different hiring events. And these can range from a simple walk in the door and meet with a hiring manager at the Burke, or it can be our full-blown regional job fair, which we host anywhere from 60 to 70 different employers, as well as have speed workshops and other resource vendors there. And just our last one we held here in February had over 470 attendees at that job fair. We also provide with them, in tandem with our partners over at Riverside County, a couple of different candidate screening services, as well as HR support. We also provide a couple of different programs to help keep them engaged in the community, and those include us doing business visits to them, as well as attending our Chamber of Commerce events and supporting them through that. We also highlight them through programs such as Business Spotlight and our Business Welcome Signs, which you may have seen those around town, where we're able to highlight individual businesses to make sure that they get that special attention they need to stay strong and grow here in Moreno Valley. As I mentioned, entrepreneurship is an exciting program for us. Through that, we provide specialized workshops and training, as well as consultant services. These come through a number of different partners. Our primary ones are listed here on the screen, but I would say our biggest one is really UC Riverside's Entrepreneur Center, or EPIC. They provide a whole host of different programs to help jumpstart that, and we've actually featured a couple new growing entrepreneurs in their pitch competition just last year, where they were able to win a cash prize for their growth there. I'll skip over here to our next section with is workforce development. Like business development, we also have 6 key areas of focus there, and that really is focused on job resources and training. We also have apprenticeships, as well as, wow, this is really hard to read, I apologize. Educational opportunities, our veteran programs, technical training, as well as resources for that. Job readiness training is a major component of our workforce programs over at the Burke, and this really comprises of our Training Tuesdays, which consist of our core workshops such as resume writing, interview skills, what to do with your social media accounts, how to do salary negotiations, and these are hosted by Burke staff, but also a number of partners that come in to provide that. We also are proud to say that we're a high impact Grow with Google partner. We have been for the last 5 years. And that basically means that Google trusts us to provide and teach their curriculum and providing those workforce development programs. We also partner with a couple different agencies in the region to provide apprenticeship programs. And our main partner for that is Moreno Valley College, as well as the Launch Apprenticeship Network. Through those programs, we're able to promote apprenticeships to both job seekers as well as our local businesses to help them see the benefits of that. And then we also host an annual Regional Apprenticeship Expo, which just this last year was its 4th year and had over 1,300 attendees for that. Primarily high schoolers, juniors and seniors from across the Inland Empire, but then we also had a few hundred veterans as well as job seekers come to attend that to learn about both traditional and non-traditional apprenticeships. Educational opportunities, this again is a key to our partnerships with major universities and colleges where we're promoting career pathways and certificate programs through those entities such as Moreno Valley College, Cal Baptist University. We also promote our local businesses through a program called Career Day Academy, where we invite high school and college students to come to learn about businesses and industries here in Moreno Valley, such as healthcare, manufacturing, logistics, entrepreneurship, and even government, where we bring in a panel of speakers to tell them their career journeys and talk about that. We also partner with Provide Career Coaching. This is probably our #1 service that is offered at the Burke. The Burke is in a comprehensive America's Job Center of California, which means that we provide programs through that are federally funded through the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, or commonly known as WIOA. And the county provides that through their staff to provide on-site, in-person career coaching services. And I'm not just blowing smoke when I say this, but we literally have the best of the best career coaches at the Burke. They see the highest number of customers and have the highest number of success rates for any of the AJCCs within the county. Just in February, they saw almost 300 individuals and helped them find jobs, get connected with different training services. And both of the counselors that we have on site are bilingual, and so they actually have the highest number of Spanish-speaking job seekers served out of the county's system as well. And then we offer various office hours for our education partners that are there to come and help people learn about that. Last program I'll highlight for this presentation is within this category is MoVal Learns, which is another award-winning program we're very proud of. This is where we support 50 career and technical education students at Moreno Valley College by providing them a basic universal income to help them stay in school. It's been very successful, and it's been in operation since 2018, and we're really proud of that program. The last program I'll highlight for workforce development is our veteran programs. This is something that's grown over the last 5 years substantially. The late Councilmember Carla Thornton, she had a goal for us to become the most veteran-friendly city in the Inland Empire. And a lot of the initiatives we have created for our veterans have come from her vision. And that's really been to focus on not only Hire a Vet, but also key programs that are offered at the Burke. One of our main flagship programs is our Veteran Tuesday, which every second Tuesday of the month at the Burke is dedicated to services and workshops for veterans, as well as active duty military and their family members to come and get access to resources, whether it's learning how to apply for a federal job, whether it's how to access their VA benefits or transition. There's a number of programs for them in that. At the Burke, we also provide different career assessments and trainings, such as our Focus 2 a career assessment model, which is actually available online if you aren't able to make it to the Burke but want to see what career you might be well suited for or how to get connected with different degree or certification programs for that. You can go to our website, morenovalleybusiness.com, and access that for free and get access to that. And lastly, I'll close out with the resources we offer at the Burke for our workforce development programs. We have 32 public computers, as well as various classrooms, 2 classrooms, and various workspaces where people can come in, do virtual interviews, private meetings with resource partners such as the EDD, and surprisingly, a fax machine that the buttons keep falling off because it's used so much in 2025. I always chuckle at that. So that concludes my presentation, and I'm available for any questions if you have them.
What's a fax machine? Just kidding. Thank you so much, Keith. We'll bring it back to the dais for any questions, comments.
I just have a quick one. Keith, I'm on the economic, or I subbed in for the economic development subcommittee, and I told you guys, thank you for what you do for our vets. Thank you for what you do for the folks in the city of Moreno Valley and beyond, actually, at the Burke. In addition, you guys are continuing to bring development to the city of Moreno Valley, and we appreciate that. Like I said in the meeting, is the stuff that we bring now, the stuff that you go out and get now is going to be for the future, because we'll all be gone, probably not dead, but just gone before those get built or utilized while we're up here. So thank you for what you do. You got a tremendous team, not very many, but very mighty. So thank you for what you do.
We have a great team. Thank you.
Absolutely. Mayor Pro Tem?
I also want to give you kudos. The Burke used to be the best kept secret, and it's out there. I see when people ask for help, like on social media, someone will say, you should try the Burke. So it's not just us pushing it anymore. Word of mouth is getting out, and people are seeing what a good resource it is. And I know that you also do testing. So you helped me out with that when we needed to get a typing test done for one of our residents. So I appreciate everything they do out there. It seems to be a great benefit for our residents to be out there, and especially for our small businesses. That Small Business Wednesday, that's really forward-thinking, and I really think that our business community appreciates it, and we need to get more in there. So continue the great work you're doing, especially with the Burke, but throughout your whole department. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Councilmember Bernard.
And I'm pretty sure you did mention it, but, residents are always asking questions. One, I do want to thank you for doing the apprentice workshop, and the apprentice expo. The number of students that we have come through there and actually go into these apprenticeships or sign up instead of, we always tell our children you can go to college, but there's all these other pathways and career ways. So I always applaud you in the city of Moreno Valley for bringing that in and making sure that we give students access to that as well as residents. I do have a question from one resident, and I'm sure you probably mentioned it, but things are moving quickly. When do we typically have our Veterans Expo? I know we just had one.
Yes, thank you. So it traditionally has been in the springtime, but we've only hosted our major event 2 years. 2 times, and so we're actually looking to plan it. It'll be held in the fall this year. We're just trying to move it around and find the best time to get the largest attendees, and so we're working in conjunction with some other partners that felt that would be a better time. So TBD on the exact date of when that will be held, but we're planning that for this fall. Will be our next annual one.
All right, thank you. And so I just thank you for everything that department does. Economic development is very important in the city, and also making sure that our residents have access to the services that they need to sharpen their skills, develop their skills is important also. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree with everything that has been said, and I do have 1 or 2 questions and a couple comments as well. One of them, if anyone's interested in seeing what new businesses have either opened recently or are in plan check, review, or under construction, where is the best place that a resident or anyone that's interested can find a summary of that information?
Thank you. Yes, on our website, morenovalleybusiness.com, we post each month what we call our Economic Development Summary, which is a PDF publication. You can also come by City Hall, and we'll be happy to provide you with a printed out version on paper. But to find that, you go to our website and click on News, and it'll be right there at the top header of our latest news. And so that does include all that information you said, Mayor, in regards to And it's listed by area. So we focus on retail and then we list all the different shopping centers. And you can see what is in plan check, what's under construction, and what's recently opened. And then also various other categories follow behind that in regards to medical, industrial, and whatnot. So thank you.
Thank you very much. And I don't think it's something that we post. I know it goes out in an email. I don't know if we blast that out to our entire email list, but maybe that's something that we could also look at possibly sharing on social media, because we get questions about, from residents asking, hey, what new business is, or what's the status of this project? Maybe I think it would be worth it, even if we don't post it every month, maybe quarterly, to post a ED summary on our social media. It might be helpful and educational for the public. And on that summary, one of the things that you'll find is under the businesses that are coming to the city is Loma Linda and Loma Linda Medical Clinic and RadNet that are anticipating moving into a new building that is under construction right now, right behind the fire station and over off of Eucalyptus and Day Street. So that's really exciting. The building is looking nice, but can you speak a little bit more to that? If you have any details on Loma Linda Medical Clinic or RadNet coming to the city of Moreno Valley, it's a big deal.
Yes, thank you. So that building is about 20,000 square feet, or actually a little over 20,000 square feet. It'll be a medical office building. It is fully leased out to, as you mentioned, Loma Linda University Medical Health, as well as RadNet, which is an imaging medical company. So the building is still under construction. It's near completion for their primary efforts, and then it'll go through tenant improvements to meet the specific needs of both those medical health systems, which may take a little bit of time because they have such customized services. But we're really excited that will be it should be opening later this year.
Yeah, that's really exciting. Just so many different things that are being addressed there, like bringing these medical services, healthcare access, making it easier for our residents. So hopefully, instead of making that drive over the hill to Loma Linda, some of those services will hopefully be closer to home. They can get appointments here more easily. And another question also on the summary is, if you look at that, there's probably a handful of hotels that are on that ED summary as well. Could you share a little bit about that? I know one of them, I believe, is under construction, or there's some grading work happening, and there's a few others that are already approved. And then a follow-up to that, about how much tax revenue is generated per hotel. And can you speak to any of the new amenities that are coming to some of the new hotels that will be in the city soon?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do currently have one new hotel. It's a True by Hilton that is under construction. We also have total, including that one, 4 that are in the pipeline that have been approved and moving forward with that process. And then there's even another handful, maybe another 4 that are coming up that we know about that we've been working with as well. So we have several new hotels that will be coming in. Some of the new amenities that will be coming is any hotel that is 4 stories or higher will be required to have rooftop amenities. So, and these hotels, of the 4, a couple of them will for certainly have some of those. And so we're really excited for that. And in regards to the sales tax that they bring in, it primarily comes through TOT, or transit occupancy tax. And on average, our hotels in Moreno Valley generate about $400,000 each year in TOT.
Thank you so much. I know I'm throwing a lot of questions at you, but this is really exciting information. So I get that question sometimes, why are you building so many hotels? Where the demand is there, or else hotel operators, developers wouldn't be submitting plans to the city. The demand is here for, a lot of the things that you mentioned, like the conferences, job fairs, and all these other entities that we have in the area, from the private sector to the March Air Reserve-based trainings, Ben Clark Training Center, et cetera, et cetera. So really excited to see some of these rooftop amenities finally coming to the city in the near future, and furthering the diversity or diversification, I should say, of our local economy, which is great. The Burke. Could you speak to, I think this is public information, we did have a council meeting about it, but while the Burke is small and mighty, we are expanding or moving to a new location. Could you speak a little bit to that about, the future new Burke or anything like that? Anything that you could say if you can.
Yeah, Mayor, let me jump in here. That briefly came up when the museum was approved as the first floor of the Sears was being discussed. We have not formally taken action as to where the new home is going to be. So I would be remiss in announcing it formally in a meeting at this point. But yes, we are expanding. There will be a new home, and we will be expanding by a significant amount of square footage.
Thank you so much. Just speaks to, again, the demand and all the good work that is happening over at the Burke. So that's also exciting. And then just 2 or 3 final comments. You did highlight some of the economic development incentives, like the higher mobile programs, which are great, and people are really using those. But definitely would love for us to explore as we move forward, whether that's through the budget, creation of the next 2-year budget, or any other new programs that come down the pipeline. You know, how do we expand? How do we grow on the existing incentives, whether that's in the form of, you know, rebates like we have with MVU, or other subsidy incentive programs like hire a grad or hire a vet. You know, would love to explore new opportunities so that we can become more or have more of a competitive advantage in the private sector and business attraction to the city. So just something to think about as we move forward. Also, Business Spotlight. It was mentioned briefly. I know in the past we used to record videos, and it was a really nice thing, but it was very labor intensive. It took a lot of time, a lot of effort to do those. And I know we kind of changed our approach to that, but just another thing to maybe consider and think about, because of the power of social media now and the changing landscape of online marketing and advertising. You know, it used to be that Google Ads was the behemoth, the whale in the room. Now things have changed. Social media has infiltrated that space, and people are spending their ad dollars on other platforms. And so I just say that because maybe we can leverage our platforms like social media, like Instagram, like Facebook, to do very simple and short business spotlights for different businesses here in the city of Moreno Valley, just to hopefully drive a little bit more traffic to them, you know. So again, just something to think about. Media's in the back probably not happy about that one because I'm throwing more work at them, but just ultimately to support our local businesses. You know, I think it's an easy lift. Post a picture or something, put a short caption. It takes a couple minutes, you know, something that'll help our local businesses. And lastly, I have brought this up before, never formally, just in conversation with staff and other folks, like partners, is while our Burke really focuses on business and private entities, I think a space that we could and should do more of is in the nonprofit space. And something like a nonprofit incubator, for example, similar to what we do for businesses, for private entities. Hopefully we can venture into a similar space for nonprofit organizations, because they also bring in, whether it's, you know, grant funding or other opportunities, they create jobs as well. They contribute to the local economy as well. Would love to see something like that, if we can add that to our portfolio of service offerings in the future, to really help establish and start nonprofits and then scale existing nonprofits as well. So just wanted to mention that again, something to chew on, something to think about. And that's all I have. So I'll pause there. Look to my colleagues again to see if there's any other questions, comments on this one. Thank you so much, Keith. Appreciate that. And we'll move now to the fire department.
Actually, let me just a follow up. You had mentioned on the ED summary potentially blasting that out and so forth. So we will take a look at that. Sean and Keith will get together, take a look at how we go about doing that. One additional item, recent change to the ED summary was to include the district location on the various items. So thank you, Councilmember Gonzalez, on suggesting that. and that will enhance our readers' ability to identify what district it's from. Also, as a follow-up, some of the incentives you're talking about, along with MVU, hopefully in '26 we can take a look at those. And with the expansion of the BERC, we'll take a look at some of those items that you're talking about. With that, fire will be presented by Jesse.
Thank you. Let's see. I can brief to this, but this isn't the PowerPoint that I sent. That's okay. Is that all right?
Yeah, please.
That's okay. Brief to this?
Yeah.
We could also maybe go to another department if you want to get the
Would
slides
be, I
loaded
think
up.
it would be better
Yeah.
if it's possible. I don't know.
If the
Okay.
next two are open to it, or we could take a quick little break. Just take like a 5-minute recess.
You have it?
Not with me, but does Tim have it? It was sent. Shanna sent it.
Let's take a 5-minute recess real quick. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back.
I just have to, I don't have access to my email here where I can download the PowerPoint, so I have to run across the street.
Alrighty, welcome back to our study session. We will go ahead and pick back up, and we're actually going to go into the public works presentation, and then we'll come back to the fire presentation. So I'll turn it back over to staff.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. Very sorry for the mishap on the presentations and having their correct presentations on fire, police. Public Works will be presented by Melissa.
All right. Good evening, Honorable Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, and Council. Tonight I am presenting the overview of the Public Works Department. The department has 4 divisions. The Engineering Division, which contains 3 groups: Land Development, Transportation, and Capital Projects. Then there is the Fleet and Facilities Division, the Maintenance and Operation Division, and the Electric Utility Division. So let's dive into the engineering division. Let's first take a look at land development, which is sort of the hub of development interaction with our engineering division. They work on entitlements, plan review, encroachment permits, and inspections. They handle the National Pollution Discharge Elimination System Program, often referred to as NPDES, which is the stormwater program overseen by the State Water Resources Quality Control Board. Land Development also handles the Floodplain Management Program, which are the requirements for the city's participation in the National Flood Insurance Program, run by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, also known as FEMA. The next group is the transportation, which is basically traffic engineering. This group is also involved in the development process. They deal with traffic, pedestrian, and bicycle infrastructure. They run the Traffic Safety Commission. They also have the Traffic Management Center. They are in charge of the Crossing Guard program, which covers the Moreno Valley School District only. This group also includes a field crew that are in charge of 199 signalized intersections and growing, over 30,000 traffic signs, and 180 centerline miles of striping that they refresh regularly. The third section in the engineering division is capital projects. They handle the citywide capital improvement plan with projects ranging from roads to storm drains to buildings and trails. Capital projects is in charge of project delivery from grant submittal all the way through construction. This section also handles the pavement management system and covers ADA compliance on projects. Moving on from engineering, we have the Fleet and Facilities Division. This is in charge of the purchase and maintenance of over 450 vehicles and pieces of equipment. This includes our 25 and counting electric vehicles. The city is currently the local government leader in electric vehicles in the Western Riverside region. This group also maintains 39 city facilities, including police and fire stations. Our Maintenance and Operation Division is our largest group of field staff. They handle 406 centerline miles of streets, including over 17,000 annual curb miles of street sweeping, over 800 miles of sidewalk, curb, and gutter, and are responsible for trimming almost 2,000 city trees every year. We also do storm drain maintenance. And last but not least is the Electric Utility Division. Having over 7,000 customers, both commercial and residential, the utility regularly receives the prestigious Certificate of Excellence in Reliability from the American Public Power Association. They also run the Utility Commission. The utility has a variety of public purpose programs, including energy efficiency, low-income assistance, renewable resources, and research and development programs. And that is an overview of the Public Works Department. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Thank you very much, Melissa. And at this time, we'll bring it back to the dais to see if there's any questions or comments.
I don't want to leave you out, but you guys are doing a great job. I know that I often go talk to the folks down at your the city yard and thank them for what they do, because they're the boots to the ground doing our day-to-day cleanup and trim, and then if I see them on the street out in the city, I'll stop and talk to them and thank them for what they do. So thank you.
I have a comment, and again, thank you, Melissa, for lately I've been sending CRMs for public works type, and thank you for responding, and I know some of the things take time, and maybe it's already in the plans, but hopefully I do my walk, so I'll be sending a few more. Thank you.
Yeah, and one question on potholes. What's the best way for residents to report them? Or if there's a couple different ways for residents to report potholes, because we get a lot of those and I see a lot of comments on social media. What's the best way to report those?
Right. So we actually have a mobile app you can download, and that's the easiest way. You can take a picture of it. It gives us a geolocation. We know where we can, where it is, so we can much more quickly find it. You can also call it in and let us know about where it is, and we will get to that as quickly as possible. We try to be very quick with potholes.
Definitely. Thank you so much. All right. And I don't see any other comments or questions at the moment. So thank you once again, Melissa. Appreciate that. And I'll go ahead and turn it over to staff for the next department.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. The next presentation will be police, and Sarah will go ahead and provide that presentation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm Captain Sarah Mack. I serve as Chief of Police for the Moreno Valley, and today I'll be discussing public safety and giving an overview of the Moreno Valley Station. Our station leadership consists of myself as station commander and 7 station lieutenants who oversee various divisions within the station. Each lieutenant has a different public safety background, which provides a wide range of experience and unique contributions. Some of those divisions include our administration, our patrol operations, our traffic enforcement, our special enforcement team, our investigations bureau, and our community service unit, along with school resource officers and our UHS, the hospital. Our personnel positions, we have 219.5 positions. The 0.5 is not half a person, it is calculated in hours, so it does come out to 0.5 hours. We have 169 sworn. The sworn is also referred to that as our deputy sheriffs, our sworn deputy sheriffs, which consists of all ranks from deputy to captain. We also have 50.5 classified employees, which can be anything, all of these civilian employees, along with anyone non-sworn. So within the Moreno Valley Station, we also include, outside of our city contract, we also deploy other personnel with other MOUs and contracts, which would include 16 sworn personnel and 4.5 classified personnel at our UHS. We have 2 county deputies that service the unincorporated areas outside of the city of Moreno Valley. We have 1 deputy assigned to the Moreno Valley Mall. We have 1 that patrols the JPA areas. And we have 8 school resource deputies that cover various schools throughout the Moreno Valley Unified School District, along with a crime analyst. The crime analyst is not included on our total. They are technically assigned to the crime analyst unit. However, they are stationed at the Moreno Valley Station and provide crime analyst services just for the Moreno Valley Station. So in total, the entire command consists of a total of 251 positions. So some of our stats, these are stats that are back for the entire year of 2024, which is the total calls for service. Last year we did 112,000, almost 113,000 calls for service, which comes up to an approximate monthly average of 9,400 calls for service, which comes up to an approximate daily average of 315 calls per day. So the station handles approximately 315 calls per day on average. So that includes criminal activities such as thefts, domestic violence, assaults, homicides, and burglaries. What I failed to put up here for you is that it's not just criminal activities that we respond to, other incidents, which include anything from reunited a lost child with their parents, or medical aid that consists all the way up to life-saving measures, or something as simple as a frustrated parent just calling the police to provide some kind of mentoring and leadership to a child with behavior problems. So it encompasses a bit large array of different kinds of service. So some of our investigative resources that we have, in addition to regular patrol, is we have a thriving drone program, which consists of several drone operators that are part of our patrol staff that do deploy those. They become very valuable as far when it comes to safety and just giving us some extra eyes on the ground. So we do have them out to building searches, field searches, so any way to make what we do a little bit more efficient and safe. So our Thriving Drone program, we also have multiple cameras throughout the area that have been good with locating stolen vehicles or even elderly people with dementia or other medical risks, that they're able to use these camera systems to locate and help reunite people as well. We have a very full motor program. The motor has been fantastic with assisting with investigations, including traffic, major injury, fatal traffic collisions, but also just regular patrol with us as far as being able to maneuver through traffic very easily, and they are able to help with things like parades and other types of stuff throughout the city. So just additional resources. We also are building our CBAT program, which is the Community Behavioral and Assessment Team. Right now, we have 2 fully functional teams, which consists of a clinician and a deputy, a partner. They do ride together. Right now, we have 2 teams, and we're working on a 3rd. So some additional department support that helps with investigative resources is at our disposal at any time based off outside of the contract or outside of the station. Included with the contract are full-time SWAT service, full aviation services, full forensic services, and full canine services, just to name a few. Some of the other things that we do within the community besides our typical standard patrol and investigations is we participate in the city's homeless outreach program. So our homeless outreach program is, our portion obviously is a law enforcement component, but is a joint effort with our maintenance and operations, the Riverside Mental Health Team, Salvation Army, Code Enforcement, City Parks, and other community partners that work together to address homeless outreach by providing services and cleaning up areas for the city and making arrests when appropriate. This is a program that goes out 2 days a week that we are committed to, that we engage in twice a week. We send members of our special enforcement team. In addition to that, we are big supporters of the community. Community services is a big part of the Moreno Valley Station. Throughout the year, we have a minimum of 16 major events that we either participate in with the city or we spearhead and lead on our own. I think one of the major ones that most people would be familiar with is our trunk or treat that is very well attended. But we also have many things throughout the year. It's something as big as or small as Coffee with a Cop that we do on a regular basis, or participating in school career days, anything to get involved with the community. We also have other types of services that we engage in, our cops and clergy, for instance. We have 15 congregations that we have regular monthly meetings. And that helps bridge the gap between getting information and communication with the community and just helping be there to provide police services or avenues for some of the churches and their congregations, the people that are more comfortable dealing with the church but still needing law enforcement information, advice, services, etc. So in addition to that, our community services covers our Thriving Explorer program. We have 12 regular explorers that do a fantastic job. This is our youth program that is very dedicated. I think when you see our community events, the one thing that you'll notice is we always have a good showing from our Explorer program. So we're very proud of that. In addition to our volunteer program, that is the adult portion. So the adult portion do things more like the citizen patrols. They're going out in the community more, writing parking citations, just a little bit more of that adult level involvement. But we do have 13 regular volunteers now, and we enjoy having them with us. They also assist around the station and do other things just to support our operation and just make the deputies and the station a lot more efficient. So we definitely rely on their services, rely and appreciate them. So some of the things that they do, a Faith in Blue, that's another faith-based interaction that we have. Some of the big things that we participate in, the Explorer Expo, other community events, the Public Safety Expo, and then some of our citizens patrols. In 2024, our volunteers gave 6,040, so over 6,000 volunteer hours to the department, to the city, and to the station. That completes my update on public safety and the overview of the Moreno Valley Sheriff's Station, and I will answer any questions if you had them.
Thank you very much, Chief Mack. Looking to my colleagues, Councilmember Delgado.
Yes, thank you, Captain. And I just want to give a shout out to your HOT team, the homeless outreach team, for what they do. And obviously, they're not there doing sweeps or probation checks or anything like that. They're there to help, and they do a fantastic job of backing up the CBAT folks. And then, you know, the law enforcement portion will come in after if that's necessary. But thank you for that. And I've been asked several times, and I think I brought this up to you before, if a resident sees two deputies in a car, does that mean we are going to two-man units now, or what does that typically mean?
Typically, it will either be a set unit, a special enforcement team. They are typically a two-man ride, but there's very few of those, so that might not be what they're getting at. It's typically going to be a trainee, a deputy sheriff trainee, and a field training officer. So most likely the one in the driver's seat that looks nervous is the trainee, and the one sitting next to him with probably a look of fear on his own face is going to be the FTO. So basically, it's a 4-month training program, so they will see quite a few. We have a lot of trainees right now just to make sure that we are fully staffed and we are functioning properly.
That's great. And I've been asked several times, oh, you guys are going to two-man cars? And I said, no. And then you reach back to your explanation of what they may be. And I don't know exactly what they were doing, but they may be training. So
Most likely, yes.
But thank you for all you do. We all know how tough your job is, and the deputies that keep us safe. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Mayor Pro Tem?
Thanks, Captain Mack. I think I spoke a lot about your volunteers at the last meeting, so I just want to reiterate how, as much as you do for our community, you also give back, and your community service department is, like top-notch. The Shop with the Cops, all of our events where the explorers are there, our community day of services, the trunk or treat. It just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and this is, your way of giving back to the community, and it's astonishing just how much you're able to do. So thank you for your service, and the leadership comes from the top. So you're a great leader because our police officers are doing really great. So I appreciate you. Thank you.
Are there any other questions or comments from the dais? All right. Seeing none, thank you once again, Chief Mack. Appreciate the presentation. And we'll go ahead and move to the next one.
Thank you, Mayor, Mayor Pro Tem, council members. The fire presentation will be presented by Jesse.
Thank you. Yes, sorry about that. And best for last, but yeah, I think you'll all see that it's very much a collaborative, it's a team effort. Fire department is a team effort with the city. Department organization is fire administration, operations, fire prevention, and Office of Emergency Management. Currently, administration has 4 people in it, and those are city employees. OEM has 4 people in it, and those are city employees. Our fire prevention is 10, and those are county employees. And then 97 in operations, and those are the ones wearing the CAL FIRE patch. Fire operations is emergency calls. We are the largest and busiest battalion in all of CAL FIRE statewide. 3 of our engines are always in the top 10, and the busiest in the county. And to be honest, they're some of the busiest in the country. And our battalion chief, Michael Martinez, is the busiest battalion chief in the state. He did 467 calls last year. So, fire operations is really what you think the fire department does, right? For the most part, it's going to brush fires. And Sarah didn't put this in her slides, but police goes to every fire. So it's very much a team effort. We have to have the police there to enforce, and they go to almost all of our calls. We do structure fires, residential and commercial, of course. And then we do what's called technical rescues, right? This is rappelling and the jaws of life and things like that. 84% of our calls are medical service. And we have ALS, which is paramedics, and then BLS, which is EMTs. They both have different levels of expertise, and we work directly with our hospital, RUHS, and Kaiser all the time. We also do a lot of community service, and a lot of this is where we work with Jeremy's team on the parks events with Spark of Love, National Night Out, we support Public Safety Expo, of course, 4th of July and the tree lighting. And then here at council, right, for recognizing Safe Surrender, Fire Prevention Week, water safety awareness, utilizing all our social media and trying to leverage the community with all those different avenues to provide a message of safety. We also have volunteers and firefighters. Volunteers, we have some. It's not as much because most of the time the volunteers, by the time that they're really qualified, they get a job. But that's the purpose. But we do have a very thriving Explorer program out of Station 58 for ages 14 through 18. And they help out quite a bit with Public Safety Expo, and they compete. And if you remember, they've been winning. They've been winning the statewide competitions. So they're a great bunch. Fire prevention. Fire prevention is plans, fire reviews, and inspections. This is where we work a lot with Angelica's team before and after the fire, right? When you hear about certificates of occupancy or if red tagging a building after a fire, that's where we work with James Verdugo all the time on that. They do the new business, sprinklers, and access, right? Special events need a permit, make sure that our fireworks and things like that are permitted. They do all the annual inspections. There's state ones that are mandated for schools and multifamily, but also annual businesses. That's when you're looking at like your hoods over your kitchen, commercial kitchens and things like that. And then our hazard mitigation inspections and cleanup. So those are the vacant parcels, right? Then the Office of Emergency Management, that's headed by Diana Rocket. And that's a full city function, right? Every single part of the city is touched by the emergency management because we integrate all those positions into the EOC. But they do required plans for city and the community, required training for the employees and volunteers. And you notice I put down reimbursement because if we're not documenting, tracking, and doing that training and getting those plans approved by the state and FEMA, it makes it a lot more difficult if we have an event where we're trying to get reimbursed. Alert and warning is part of OEM. Evacuations and sheltering, grant management, donations management, the incident support, and then the public education. And like Keith mentioned, the BERT team, we work a lot with Keith's group over there doing business resilience training. It's a great program, and we've had a lot of success reaching out to BERT, CERT, and we are working on Listos, which is the Spanish-speaking one. The only thing that's holding us back is the certified trainer right now, but we're on track. The Emergency Operations Center there is the support center for the city, and that's for potential incidents, right? Planned events, though, as well. Disasters, and then federal or state or regional incidents, they may ask us to stand up our EOC to support that. And you saw that like during 9/11, right? Northridge earthquake, COVID, things like that. So things happening in the region, we assist. Let's talk a little bit about the nexus to CAL FIRE. CAL FIRE is responsible for state land, that's SRA, State Responsibility Area, 31 million acres, but it provides full emergency services to 36 of the state's 58 counties. And so a lot of times, even though you see a fire in LA or somewhere else, you'll see the tagline, according to CAL FIRE, this is what's going on. And that's a lot of it because we respond to those and we may be their fire department. Riverside County is CAL FIRE's largest contract. The city does not have a contract with CAL FIRE. The city has a contract with Riverside County Fire, but County Fire contracts with CAL FIRE, and so that's why there's the 3 different patches that you see. Riverside County is the most important to CAL FIRE because it's 94 city and county stations and just 8 CAL FIRE stations. And those are all the cities that contract here. So let's go over the stations. Of course, this is where we work with Melissa's group constantly, right? They're always there maintaining our stations. They're assisting with our roads and our traffic. I just listed the frontline equipment because we do have a lot of specialty equipment and reserve equipment, but it's kind of long-winded if I went through everything. But this is where our ladder truck is and a paramedic engine at Station 2. Station 6 there, Town Gate and Day, right? 1 engine and 1 medic squad. Sunnymead Ranch, we have 1 paramedic engine. 58, they're there by the auto center, right? 1 paramedic engine. Kennedy Park now has an engine, and you saw the brand new squad, the newest squad. 91, 1 engine, 1 paramedic squad. 99, we have our paramedic engine, and that's where our battalion chief is, headquarters. So what is a truck exactly? A truck is an extra large toolbox. It's got a 100-foot extension ladder. It has 3,000 gallon capability pointing down on the fire, but it doesn't come with water or a pump, so we need those fire engines to pump it. They're very expensive, about $2 million. They're taking about 4 years to build right now. So it's just, public safety year over year is an expensive venture. But they're needed because this is the guys training at Solaris Paper, and you could see there's the truck 2 ladder. It can reach the roof, and the guys are on the 24-foot ladder, and those are what's carried on the engine because that's just how big an engine is. That's as far as it goes. So there's 7 of those, right? And there's 1 of those main ladders. And you could see there's the Fairfield on Day Street. We can only reach the 2nd story with the 24-foot ladder, right? So that's the importance of having that extra capability. And this is not in the city, but this was in the Meridian, JPA, right? And so 3,000 gallons sounds like a lot of water a minute, and it is. But if you look, it looks like a garden hose when you get a really big fire. And that's why we do not recommend people to try to fight the vegetation fire with their garden hose. It just doesn't work, okay? Please stay safe and evacuate. A fire engine carries people, water, a pump, hose, ladders, and equipment, 500 gallons. It's the most versatile piece of equipment that we have, right? Number of engines is based on our values at risk. So the more values at risk, the more complicated your values at risk, the more fire engines you need. But we need an engine and we need hydrants because of this. And I'm not going to go through too much math, but 2,000 square foot house, you divide that by 3, that gives you 600 gallons per minute. Engine nozzles can do 250 gallons per minute, right? So you need 3 hose lines. So, but fire engine carries 500 gallons. So 2 hose lines is 500 gallons. That's 1 minute. So we got to plug into those hydrants, and that's our partnership with EMWD, right? We keep those partnerships strong so that we have the water supply that we need. But since 84% of our calls are medical aids and we need those fire engines for fires, we have our squads, and our squads are quick and fast. And, this is where I work with the CM's office, providing some new options. And there's a new option out there for one of these that has a pump on it, so we're looking at that. So that's kind of exciting. But the squads are a little bit cheaper, a little faster, and so that's why we're increasing our capability with them. We utilize some standards to go by, National Fire Protection Association and the Insurance Services Office. Those are kind of our guiding bodies for response, and so that's why I put them in there if there's any questions on how those work. This is where we truly work with the CM's office and everybody else in the city to ensure that the general plan has that good public safety message, and it does. It's a strong message. We're here to protect the business, protect the residents, and some of our values are ensuring that timely response, instilling trust in our community. We want to always treat our patients like their family and help the city thrive. That's the end of the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chief Park. I'm glad we were able to get the updated slides in here. Definitely worth all the great information. So bring it back to the dais here. Look to my colleagues for any questions or comments.
Chief Park, thank you very much for that awesome presentation. Your folks do an amazing job in our city. If somebody is calling you guys, it's probably on their worst day, and you guys remain professional, on time. I mean, obviously very quick. So obviously our public safety is the foundation of our city. So I thank you guys for what you do, and keep up the good work, sir.
Thank you.
I just want to echo that. Thank you for everything you do, and your team is very quick to respond to calls. And I also have a comment, and I think during my onboarding department handbook meeting, what's that balance, right, of trucks, engines, and medic squads? I know you mentioned it; those are the most affordable compared to the other two. Having that right balance, and what do you look at so that we're covered in all 3 areas, right?
So prior to the recession, the city had 3 trucks, and during the recessionary period, they were unaffordable. So the goal is just to get back to those 3 trucks. One of the good things is that everybody around us is building as well. So County Fire intends to put a truck in the Meridian, and that will certainly help strengthen our relationship. There's also development over there by Mystic Lake, and the city of San Jacinto will be getting a truck, and the city of Beaumont there, that new development that you see when you come off the city, or off the 60 kind of into the city there off the left. That has Fire Station 106 has just opened for Beaumont, and they're getting a truck. So I believe that if we can slowly over time get back to our 3 trucks, and then we have the capability with the other departments, we should be good.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I also wanted to give kudos to your explorers, your fire explorers. I had a chance to visit with them during the Toys for Tots, maybe?
Yeah, Spark of Love.
Spark of Love.
Yep.
So that was great. They were so involved and well-trained. Their den mother?
No, that's what I call her. Yes.
Extraordinary woman with kids in the program. So kudos. I mean, it's a lot of work that you do, and to go on and still put into our youth, it's just extraordinary. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and thank you as well, Chief. You all are out there, just like PD, putting your lives on the line every single day, saving lives literally. And one of the questions, maybe the only question I have for you, is about the new fire severity maps that the state is little by little releasing to the various counties and municipalities. Could you speak to that at all? I know they've been rolling them out little by little. I don't know if it's been published yet for our city, but could you speak to that? And as a second part to that question, the reason why I ask about it is because we all witnessed the fires over in Altadena, Pasadena Palisades very recently, and how much of a disaster that became, and how quickly something could turn into something that large. Yeah. And just keeping all that in mind, how we prepare even more as a city of Moreno Valley, considering our topography, our geography, and continued development, especially with all the residential that abuts the hills around the city of Moreno Valley and a lot of that dry brush. So could you speak, is there anything that you could share or speak to on that particular subject?
Yeah, I can a little bit, and then I think Brian will chime in as well. We have put them up online. It is online, and Brian's gonna. Do you want to speak on the staff report?
Yeah, so we are currently in development with a staff report as required by the state. When they release the maps, they require a public review period and then adoption from a municipal code perspective of the maps. So hopeful Tuesday night, you may see a staff report opening the public review period. We will then close it after a certain, after we met the state requirements, and then there would be a first read and second read adopting the severity maps.
Very good. I'm glad to hear that. And yeah, thank you again, Chief. I'm glad to hear also, thanks for sharing that some of these surrounding cities are getting additional fire stations and engines and trucks, which will hopefully alleviate some of the pressure off of some of your stations here in Moreno Valley. Yeah. So definitely excited for that. Any other comments, any other questions from the dais? I don't see any. Thank you once again, Chief.
Thank you.
And before we adjourn the meeting, we'll double check again if there's any public comments. I don't see anyone else here, so it doesn't look like we have any. Staff, any other questions, comments?
Yeah, just a comment. Mayor Pro Tem and council members, everything that you heard tonight wouldn't be possible without your direction and the policy that you set and the collaboration that you have with the management team and your ability to invest based on staff's recommendations when we do bring the budget. So just want to thank you for your guidance and your continued assistance and willingness to invest based on our budgetary policies and fiduciary responsibilities that we have to our residents, and to ensure that public safety and development is our number one priority. So thank you.
Absolutely. As a wise man once said, team effort. So with that, we will go ahead and conclude our study session and officially adjourn at 7:56 p.m. Have a good night.